Have you ever wondered what it would be like to play a standalone extraction shooter set in the same universe as The Division? Well mate, you don't have to anymore. Ubisoft is creating a new game called Division Heartland, and it promises to deliver the intense extraction gameplay the fans of the franchise have been craving.
Welcome Pixel Pros, I'm the gaming nerd, let's crack on.
Ubisoft is a renowned video game development company that is best known for their popular games like Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Tom Clancy's The Division. While fans of the Division franchise are eagerly waiting for the next installment, Ubisoft recently announced a new game called The Division Heartland. Division Heartland is an extraction game that offers a different twist from the franchise's usual gameplay. Set in the Division universe, the game takes place in a rural town called Silver Creek, where they will play as a Division agent tasked with protecting the town from enemy factions, rogue agents, and the deadly contamination of the Red Storm. As we cover the announcement of this new game, do let me know in the comments what you all think, because it's always vitally important that communication with my community is a two-way process. Let's continue. The game's setting is a significant departure from the Division we knew in the past. The town of Silver Creek, located in Middle America, was hit hard by the green poison, but it did not receive the same support as the big cities. The developers, Red Storm Entertainment, want players to see how the green poison affects small towns in America, making it a cool narrative and a fitting addition to the Division timeline. In Division Heartland, players will engage in a PvPvE experience where they will fight both AI and other real players. The game's objective is to loot as much as possible and survive. As players progress, they will have the option to pick one of three classes: the Weapons Expert, the Medic, or the Survivalist. Each class has unique skills and abilities, allowing players to customize their gameplay according to their preference. Crafting is also a significant aspect of Division Heartland, as players will be collecting materials such as metals or electronics to create weapons, ammo, or consumables. Players will also need to prepare their loadout and extract successfully to open up new parts of the map and have more missions available. In this game, you'll get to explore both the challenge and exploration of daytime and the thrill and intensity of nightfall. During the day, you'll have the chance to explore and complete critical objectives, scavenge for materials and supplies, and face off against dangerous enemies. But when the sun sets, the stakes heighten, and the game takes on a whole new level of intensity. New enemies appear, and you'll need to fight your way through rogue NPCs and take on newly hostile players. And all the while, you must avoid the increasing volatile contamination that threatens to engulf you at every turn. So the game's main challenge is the deadly and unpredictable contamination that affects Silver Creek. Players must keep their character hydrated and find fresh, uncontaminated water to avoid debuffs such as slower movement speed. Moreover, players must wear a filtered mask to access contaminated areas, and some areas may require multiple masks, adding more difficulty to the gameplay. While the game has largely the same character movement, shooting, and UI, it remains to be seen if the rural setting can match the visual grandeur of the previous games. As a fan of Ubisoft's original game The Division, I was hooked from the moment I first played it. The immersive storyline, realistic graphics, and challenging gameplay all drew me in and kept me engaged for hours on end. Granted, I realised there was a lot of criticism, but nonetheless, I was having so much fun because it felt so fresh at the time. But it was clear that Ubisoft had put a lot of effort into creating the initial concept, but once I reached the end of the game, I was left with little to do but repeatable tasks that required a team instead of balancing a solo experience. It was a bitter disappointment, and I was left feeling frustrated that such a great game had been ruined by the lack of content in its endgame. So as a bit of a superfan, I'm excited about the upcoming release of Heartland. I almost feel like this game will be the endgame content that the original Division game was promised. Because Ubisoft is using the same game build as a foundation, I have high hopes that Heartland will deliver a solid performance from the get-go. The developers, I hope, have clearly learned from the past mistakes and have worked to improve upon the initial content by incorporating new gameplay mechanics, such as the contamination and go bag systems, as well as introducing a new rural setting. Overall, I'm optimistic the Division Heartland will be the game that fans have been waiting for and will deliver the endgame content that Division once promised, albeit in a completely new game.